WCBI News at 10 starts now.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Cash Matlock. The Mississippi State Department of Health reports 1,017 new cases of COVID-19 with 14 new deaths. There are 20 new cases among long-term care facilities, and since March 11th, there have been more than 41,000 cases of coronavirus within the state, with more than 1,300 deaths. It's presumed that more than 25,000 Mississippians have recovered from the virus. Well, Lowndes County soccer fields host a COVID-19 testing center earlier today. The testing site was active until 2 p.m. Organizers there were expecting between 50 and 100 people to show up throughout the day. Patients were allowed to drive up and stay in their cars during the swab. If you did not have a chance to get tested today, another testing facility will be in Starkville on Monday at the Oktibbeha County Safe Room. You can visit our website for more information on how to sign up and get tested. 7,000 Mississippi National Guard troops will soon go to Camp Shelby for training. Now, COVID-19 precautions are being put into place. The Guard will host the troops from the end of July through the month of August on a rotational basis. There will be a daily screening measures for troops, mask requirements, and increased sanitation stations at the camp. Units are moving to a field training environment to help maintain social distancing while completing training requirements. Well, in the U.S., the number of confirmed coronavirus cases has climbed above 3.6 million infections, and close to 140,000 people have died. CBS News correspondent Michael George reports from New York on efforts to slow a summer surge across much of the nation.
The coronavirus continues its relentless march across the U.S. Florida announced more than 10,000 new cases were confirmed Friday. The city of Miami's new mandatory face mask policy kicks in Monday, carrying fines of up to $500. Dr. Michael Sogg, who treats COVID-19 patients in Birmingham, Alabama, had the virus in March.
Walking down the road and I don't see people wearing masks, and I see a total disregard for what's going on in the world around them. I feel compelled to shout from the rooftops what I'm seeing.
18 states are in a so-called red zone, according to an unpublished report prepared for the White House Coronavirus Task Force. Obtained by CBS News, the report says states seeing large spikes should take more stringent and consistent steps to slow the spread.
We've got to do it across the board in those areas. This is serious business, and we can turn it around. If I didn't think we could do it, I wouldn't be so emphatic.
In California, Burbank is one of many areas that have closed off traffic on a main thoroughfare to make way for outdoor seating after the state reimposed restrictions this week.
It's going to be kind of tough trying to adjust to this and sit around people, and even the wind, the way it's moving, you never know. If someone sneezes and while your mask is off.
According to all the guidelines, we shouldn't spend time inside, right? So it's a concern for the family.
Indoor dining, gyms, malls, movie theaters, and more will not be part of New York City's Phase 4 reopening set for Monday. Despite that, Governor Andrew Cuomo says it's inevitable his state will see a second wave of the coronavirus. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Governor Cuomo says the second wave he predicts will come from lack of compliance and enforcement of prevention measures and from infected people returning from other states.
Another hot and steamy Saturday afternoon out there. Take a look at the time lapse from Vernon, Alabama. You can't see the heat here, but it still kind of looks hot. The sunshine, just a few of those white high puffy clouds out there. And unfortunately, the heat and humidity is going to continue here for the next several days. The good news is we are going to cool down overnight, of course. 74 for the low in Columbus, 75 in Tupelo. Still very mild and muggy under a mostly clear sky. A great night to get outside and view the comet in the northwestern sky if you haven't already. Tomorrow, as I mentioned, the heat and humidity continues. We're targeting 96 for the high. Heat index values closer to 105. Mostly sunny skies. Can't completely rule out a shower tomorrow afternoon, but just like we saw today, most folks are not going to get any relief in the way of rainfall. That might change, though, as we get in toward the middle portion of next week. I've got more details on that in my full First Alert forecast in just a bit. Cash?
All right, thanks, Trevor. Well, 2020 will go down as the year of debate in the state. Chad Groening takes a look at the latest example of citizens learning to become part of civil discussion.
We are here today to talk about, to reinforce, and to rally together the patriotic spirit of America.
The rally was put on by the newly created organization known as PRIME, which stands for Patriots for Rights, Integrity, Morals, and Ethics. And these folks believe their rights are being taken away.
And we go out today and we listen to people and they start putting down our founding fathers. And our founding fathers were good men, good, honest men who depended on God. And that foundation for this country came from the teachings of the Almighty. We've got to protect these rights.
But many of those gathered believe their rights were violated when the state legislature voted to change the Mississippi state flag.
It's not our elected representatives and state senators' place to take the vote of the Mississippi people. Whenever they were approached with it, they should have said, no, it's not my place, it's yours. This is my stance.
While there was a great deal of passion at this meeting, the passion really took off when State Senator Chad McMahon, who voted to change the flag, took the microphone.
How many Democrats are here? If you're a Democrat, raise your hand, be proud of it.
Raise yours. We don't have Democrats.
Yeah, see, I'm going to give you my personal opinion first. I'm a Republican. That flag right there, hear me out, that flag right there is the Democrat battle flag. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That's what it is. But I didn't come to give my own opinion. I want you to hear me. I voted the will of the district of the people I represented. I had over 15,000 people contact me and ask me to vote to change the flag.
But the Mississippi state flag wasn't the only issue on the minds of today's rally attendees. Many were not happy with the mandates imposed by several cities in North Mississippi to wear face masks in public.
If you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. That should be a personal choice. If businesses require you to wear a mask as a condition of entering into the business, well then respect private property rights and wear a mask. If the government tells you to do it, the government is without authority, because if the government can tell us what we can do with our bodies, which is the most fundamental right that we have, then all of our other rights are gone.
Rally attendee Gary Vaughn summed up the sentiment of many in the crowd who are concerned about the direction the country could be headed.
We're going to see the demise of America that we've grown up to love. We're going to become a socialist country. That scares me.
Chad Groening, WCBI News, Tupelo.
Event organizers say they're already planning to hold another rally next month. Well, in other news, some big improvements are coming to a busy Oktibbeha County road. More than 4 miles of Poorhouse Road will be redone with an asphalt surface. Money from the county and the state will pay for the repairs. Work will start on Highway 25 and continue to Oktok Road. A traffic light will also be installed within the next 3 months.
Intersection of Old Highway 25 and Poorhouse Road. This has been an intersection where we've seen safety issues. We did data studies to know exactly what we needed to do, which included traffic counts and the accident reports. And they came back and said that we needed to put in a light, and we're also going to illuminate the area.
The traffic light project is already under contract. Some area parents and teachers are on edge. We're going to explain more after the break. Stay with us.
You're watching WCBI News at 10 p.m. with Cash Matlock.
Welcome back, everyone. Each school district has a different restart plan, but all include elements that have teachers and parents on edge. A newly formed group called Mississippi Teachers Unite rallied outside of the state capitol for nearly 2 hours Friday. Courtney Ann Jackson has highlights and reaction from the governor.
These teachers are mad.
MDE must postpone a dangerous reopening until at least September 1st to ensure safe school environments.
And I want to see my students more than anything, but I want them to be alive more than anything. As people said before, we can't teach dead students. I can't show up to work if I'm dead.
They don't think the money is there for the return to be a safe one.
We usually have running water. We never have soap and rarely have paper towels, so I don't really see how this is going to happen. Any supplies that I have, I'm going to have to buy for myself.
Some parents echoed those concerns.
I want my kids to get an education, but if this is going to destroy it, then I ask that they do what they need to do. If it can't be September 1st, guess what? It needs to open up when this virus is gone.
Within hours, Governor Reeves was addressing some of these same topics at his briefing.
The American Academy of Pediatrics said that closing schools could in fact itself push children to a higher risk of death. They're right. We have to provide the structure for children.
In the way of safety, he says it shouldn't be an issue.
At least $150 million going to schools to pay for masks, hand sanitizer, and other necessary PPE.
Districts have until July 31st to finalize their plans for the fall semester.
They want me to do an executive order mandating that every school acts exactly the same. As of today, I do not see that as the best course of action.
Courtney Ann Jackson, WCBI News.
Governor Reeves had a meeting with the state superintendent and chairman of the State Board of Education Friday. He says they're all in agreement that in-classroom instruction needs to be available, and they believe it can be done safely.
Hey, if you're headed out to the lake tomorrow, first of all, give me a call. I'm sure I've got a sick day laying around somewhere I can use. Great weather for it. It is going to be hot and humid, but hey, that's why you go to the lake, right, to cool off. 95 at Aberdeen, 95 at Enid, and at Sardis. Really not expecting much in the way of rainfall, but a rogue shower or two can't be completely ruled out. And then through the week, we'll increase rain chances just a little bit more. I've got more details on that coming up right after this. Stay with us.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist Trevor Burchett.
Well, it is mid-July, and it is certainly feeling like it out there across North Mississippi and West Alabama. Unfortunately, the heat and humidity, it's going to stick around here for the foreseeable future. It's going to stay warm and humid in addition to the heat. That means the heat index values get up over 105 at times. Now, the good news is we've been dry for the last several days. We are going to reintroduce the chances for a few isolated pop-up showers and storms as we get toward next week. But in general, for the next couple of days, I think we are looking dry. That means temperatures continue to rise. The good news is right now the sun has set. We are nice and cool, if you can call it that, in Starkville right now. Still very muggy. You're going to notice the air you can wear as you step outside. Overall, a pretty quiet night out there on Highway 12 in Starkville. Hopefully, lots of folks trying to get out to the country to take a look at the comet. This is one of the last nights you can view Comet Neowise. Here's where you can see it. So here's the Big Dipper in the sky, in the northwestern sky. Just below the Big Dipper, right above the horizon, you'll be able to see the comet there. And it's only going to be visible until about 11 o'clock tonight before it dips below the horizon. And then you've got about 3 more nights and it goes away for 6,000 more years. So needless to say, this is one of the last chances you have to see Comet Neowise in your lifetime. And actually tonight, one of our viewers from Atala County is out taking a look at the comet. And you can actually see it there just a little bit, just barely. It's got one of the longer tails of comets, so it's a lot easier to see. You might have to go to a place that's a little more dark, away from the city lights to see it. Maybe even bring the binoculars. But in general, if you're in a dark enough area, you should be able to see it with the naked eye. So if you see any photos like this, if you see the comet out there tonight, be sure to send it in to us on Facebook and Twitter. The good news is skies are clear for the most part across the area. It's still muggy though. We're 80 degrees here in the Friendly City, 83 in Tupelo, 81 for us up to the north in New Albany. Again, most of us are clear, just a few very high clouds across Tishomingo County and over into West Alabama. Generally, the big talker in the weather department here across the southeast has been this ridge of high pressure that has been churning in air from the southeast. That's what's been keeping us warm and muggy for the last several days. And this high pressure has also been keeping us dry. We haven't seen rain here, at least measurable rainfall, in the last several days, and that continues over tonight as well. 74 for the low, mild and muggy, mostly clear through the night tonight. Again, no rain expected and no rain really expected tomorrow. Maybe an isolated shower or storm, but much like we saw today, most folks won't see any rainfall. That allows temperatures to really ramp up. 96 once again for us in Columbus, 96 for the high in Vernon, 95 tomorrow in Bruce. And again, the heat index values are going to be even hotter than that. Take a look at this. By 3 p.m. tomorrow, it's going to be feeling like 102 in Columbus, feeling like 100 in Tupelo and in New Albany. So if you're going to be outside tomorrow, wear the sunscreen, stay hydrated, and find some way to stay cool. If you can find the pool, or like I mentioned earlier, go out to the lake, that is going to be your best bet. I mentioned maybe through the middle of the week increasing some rain chances just a little bit, But in general, I think most of us are going to see less than 1/4 of an inch of rain for the next 7 days. So this is not going to be any major rainfall, not expecting a major weather system. But if you get caught on one of those downpours, it might have to cool you down just a little bit. Here's a look at your AccuWeather 7-day forecast. Really, tomorrow and Monday, I think, are mostly dry. Rain chances don't start to ramp up really until Tuesday through the middle and end of the week. Again, only about a 40% chance, so not everybody going to see rain. Temperatures really stay hot. 94, 95, 96 really going to be the theme for the next several days.
Now, Trevor, this comment is not to be confused with the Russian rocket that's actually re-entered into the atmosphere. Have you heard about that?
I have not heard about that.
Okay, so it was reported 8 hours ago. If you're in West Texas, you can see a Russian rocket re-enter the atmosphere.
Lots of stuff in the night sky tonight.
Definitely a lot of stuff going on.
I think we're missing that here. Tonight, it's just going to be some stars in the comet.
Gotcha. All right. Thanks, Trevor. Well, after the break, we're going to tell you all about a new app that is sure to get you moving this summer. You don't want to go anywhere. Welcome back in, everyone. New apps are created and curated constantly to help users with everyday situations, but now there's an app for people who are hunting and fishing connoisseurs, and even those who aren't but just want to go on an adventure outside. Our Savannah Gato got to meet with the creators and founders of Global Outdoors and has more details on their app.
No matter where you are in the country or even the world, Global Outdoors is an app that allows users to find, rate, review, and book all types of outdoor experiences and activities.
It's going to allow them to find places they otherwise wouldn't have been able to discover before. It's going to allow those people to review different kinds of places and let people know what places are really, really great for whatever activity and what places, may not be so good for whatever activity. It really is designed for the person who has absolutely no experience at all and the master hunter, fisherman, rock climber, etc.
Co-founder Mark Alexander Sr. says he was inspired from traveling over the years.
I've been able to find a lot of neat things to do all over the world, but as you travel, it gets harder and harder, and using the internet, you're searching all over different locations and have to make sure you're going to try and get a good experience once you go somewhere and spend a lot of money. So I decided that it would be a good thing to try and put all those things together that are rated and reviewed, and then you could decide where you wanted to go with the best experience provider.
The app functions two ways.
You've got people like you and me that are looking for something to do, and then you've got people who are offering something to do. And we've created something that's easy for both groups of people. So for instance, a business owner, they can go on there and enter all their information and have a Global Outdoors page and solicit their business how they would a typical website or however they do that on the internet. But we also allow for people to respond to their reviewers. They can connect all their social media.
They've got over 12,000 experiences on the website right now, and they are expanding all over the world.
Our goal is to be the premier website and app for everything outdoor related.
The Global Outdoors app is free and available on the App Store and Google Play. Well, Sulligent is the next stop on the high school football tour. WCBI Sports is next. Stay with us.
WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further. WCBI Sports 2020 High School Football Tour is brought to you by Itawamba Community College, Cannon Ford of Starkville, Monroe County Farm Bureau, Max South Broadband, and the Bank of Vernon.
When we get back, 1st of June there, they really didn't miss a beat. They worked hard. They really did. They've been working really hard for us, and I know some of them ain't been doing what they're supposed to be doing in the off season, but they're getting back at it now, and they really, they've been working really hard. It's been a good summer. 1, 2, 3, just seeing the teamwork and the camaraderie those people had and the leadership we had. I think that the senior class this year is they were juniors last year, obviously, and then they saw what kind of leadership it takes to do that, and I think they're going to follow that. They've been doing a really good job this summer in the weight room and conditioning, and I think that would be the main thing, is the leadership. Got there 5 years ago, and that's the kind of offense we run. Is it's going to be, yards going to be shared around, and I think we'll probably do that again this year. Skill-wise, we're going to be pretty experienced, on that side of the ball offense. The line will be young, but we're going to be, got some big kids coming up. We graduated 4 of 5 offensive line starters last year, so that if they can hold up, I think they will. That'd be the questions of the guys in the trenches. We're gonna move a few people around to put them in the best spot they can help us out as possible, and we still got some key players that are back on the defense. We're looking forward to having them back, especially that linebacker and some there on the defensive line. So. That'll help us there, but that's what we plan on doing. Just move them around and put them in the right spot. They all push each other. Each grade pushes each other and makes them work hard and holds them accountable. That's the main thing, hold them accountable. It's just getting back to it and just hopefully we'll, get out there and be able to play this fall.
WCBI Sports 2020 High School Football Tour with Sulligent High School is brought to you by Shop and Save and J-Sand Flooring Professionals.
Heat and humidity continues here for the next 7 days. We do introduce some more rain chances Tuesday through Friday. Still not a huge chance for rain. Not everybody going to be wet. That means we stay hot and humid.
All right. Thanks, Trevor. Well, thank you guys for joining us. We will see you back here tomorrow.